All right, today we're going to learn about using gradients with colors. And this lets us take a color and sort of transition from one color to another color. And with CSS3, we're able to do that without creating our own images. But we can do it telling the browser what colors to show and how to transition and how to fade in and all that stuff. This is, however, going to open up some doors because different browsers treat this code differently. So while whatever you want to use on your browser, you just have to program for, you're going to have to, if you want to make the code visible for other people, like in the showcase or something like that, then you're going to have to put in different codes. Now, style sheets make that pretty easy to do. Let me show you here. So for instance, this is the default code that we're going to learn here in a second, but you can see that we have to do what's called a prefix for Safari versions 5.1 to 6.0, or for Opera or for Firefox. Internet Explorer newer versions of Internet Explorer support gradients, but others don't. So what we're really doing here is you're making it more widely available once you learn this code. Now, in most cases, I'm going to just do this code here, and you'll just have to be aware if you're using an older version of Safari or an older version of Firefox or something like that, then you may not be able to see it. Here, this identifies what the browser support is. So, for instance, Internet Explorer supports gradients at version 10.0 and newer. Chrome supports them without any prefix at 26 and over, 16 and over, and that sort of thing. But you can, for versions of Chrome that are 10.0, between 10.0 and 26.0, they'll accept the code if you put this prefix WebKit or dash Moz or dash WebKit here, and that's what I'm specifying here. So this is letting these browsers know that they want to be able to support this code. All right. So let's first get in here and see how do we do a gradient. It's pretty straightforward. I create a div block here, and I specify the ID is linear grade vertical. That's just made up. That can be tomato or whatever you want, but it specifies my ID up here. And then I'm specifying a height of 200 pixels. And then I say my background, colon, and I'm specifying a linear dash gradient. And linear just means along a line. We're going to be doing in the next lesson radial gradients, which are pretty cool. That's like different shapes. But this just is linear along a line. And what we're saying is the default is from top to bottom. So that's what vertical means, top to bottom. Again, that's just for us. So we can call that whatever we want. And we're going to start with red at the top and then fade down to blue. Okay? So red down to blue. Now, if I want to, just to specify, this can be anything we want. We can call this Fraser if we want. This is just an ID. I don't want you to get confused because I'm using a good name, okay? So that works the same. And if you want to, you can do any color. So let's do green to blue, okay? So green up here to blue. Now I only changed the basic syntax because I'm using a relatively new browser, but if you want it to be compliant with all the browsers, you're going to have to go through and change all of these things, okay? And actually, I have left and all that stuff. Those are wrong. Those are from previous versions, all right? So the first step, though, is to do that. Now, let's take a look here, and let's say we want to say from just being red to blue, which is default to the top, now default from vertical. Now I'm going to say to right. And what do you think I'm going to see if I change to right? That means it's going to go from the left, red, to the right, blue. Okay? Okay. If I want to, I can change that to the left. And that would go red to blue to the left. Does it make sense? Okay. All right, the next thing that I want to show you is the ability to create a diagonal. Okay. And diagonal is going to be where I'm going to say, again, right now it's going to the left, red to blue. I can say to the bottom left, or let's say to the bottom right. All right, so if it's going to start off from the left, top, and it's going to go down to the bottom right. So what we should see here is from top left to bottom right, red going down to blue. So top left is red, down to bottom right is blue. All right, so what we've done here is we've specified from the top left, or top left is default, to the bottom right, and it just goes from red to blue. Now these are called, this is the directions in terms of what direction you're going in. These are called color stops, and it tells you what type of, how many different colors are we using and moving from one color to the next color. What's cool about this is that you can do multiple color stops. So let's say we want to do another color stop here. We're going to stay with our direction to bottom right, and we're going to go red to yellow to blue. Okay, and you can do multiple ones. So we can do red to yellow to green to blue. All right, so you can do really whatever colors you want. And again, you can specify whether you want it to be vertical, whether you want it to be horizontal, whether you want it to be diagonal, whatever it is that you want from that perspective. So your assignment is to do a vertical gradient, a horizontal gradient, a diagonal gradient, and then I want you to do one that has multiple color stops. And then the last thing that I want you to do here is I want you to take that and use that gradient to create a header. And let's just show what that would look like. So right now we have this, we're specifying the colors and that sort of thing. What if we wanted to make, right here you can see, we have this, but what if we wanted to make this header here a background color with multiple colors? So, or a background like a banner, right, with multiple colors. So let's take a look here, and we'll take H1, and we'll take our same background, but we want the text to be white instead of black, and we want the it to be centered. Okay, so we do margin auto and click show web page. Okay, so they're too close together. Let's create a let's just create some space here. Okay, and we want this text align to be centered. So you can see here, I put my text right here. I have this be a height of, I think, 100. Oh, it just defaults to whatever. So let's make that, let's do the height of 150, make it a little bit bigger. 150 pixels. And is there anything else we want to do? That's a little too big, but whatever. Do whatever size you want for your banner. And there's your text, and we've centered it, and then we have our banner color. And remember, I can do whatever, however many, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to make this. So now I've taken the background for the H1, and I said linear gradient to the right, and then I added multiple color stops to make it kind of a rainbow. So click Save Work, Show Web Page, and you can see that I go red to, I don't know, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and that's how you can do multiple color stops. So those are the things I want you to do. I want you to play around here and just experiment with vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and then multiple color stops, and then create a header here that has the text. And you can just use the H1 and have the text and move that forward. All right? And then tomorrow, or next lesson, we're going to do radial gradients, which are pretty cool looking too.